Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Ph.D. research, a scientific evaluation of yoga. My mission, the impeccable wisdom with which everything is fully known. My discovery, Divya, the divine design of nature with which the perfect objects are designed and created. The law of divine natures. Every divine event is predestined. Every event happens at the destined time. The time had come for my guide to appear for this particular research work. I met Professor A. Namachwan during a marriage party of one of my friends, our mutual friends, a doctor from America. When I met Professor Namachwan, we discussed quite a lot about our work. Then, after knowing that I owned Akhand Pharma, he requested whether my company can sponsor a symposium on sleep in Madras Medical College. I said it will be more honor to sponsor a symposium, and meantime I told him also that I would be a part of the symposium on that day. And while symposium was on in Madras Medical College, I realized it was on the subject in which I had my initiation into simplified Kundalini Yoga. So when I explained everything about my initiation and experiences to Professor Namachwam and others, they were quite enamored with the experiences. And they literally told me, why don't you get registered for PhD work and convert your subjective sensation into objective evaluation under Professor Namachwam. Hence, I applied for PhD registration in 1993 itself. Meantime, I started a pilot study research in which I included all the biophysical parameters of the body and also included electroencephalogram, EEG of the brain electrical activity of the brain and the effect of yoga on the brain. And I'm also glad that with the help of Professor Namachwam, who has permitted to get permission to do research in two leading institutions. One, National Institute of Research in Tuberculosis, which had the most advanced technique on cardiopulmonary functions, and Madras Medical College attached to Madras University, which had a beautiful EEG lab, and these two things were easy for me to work on. I'm glad that with the help of Professor Namachwam, our guidance, and these institutions' help, we could do a much better job on the whole. Now let me talk about a normal EEG. Normally, it is seen 10.5 Hertz alpha frequency scenes are seen from occipital region and to some in a parietal region. And this has been the experience of 100 years of neurosciences. And it is also said 10.5 Hertz frequency is like a signature of the person. It does not change at all during the rest of your life. And this frequency is also seen when the mind is at rest and eyes are closed. No alpha waves are seen in the rest of the brain. And it's also true on thinking alpha waves are replaced by the faster beta waves. And after opening the eyes, you cannot see alpha waves at all. They are always replaced by beta activity. This particular normal physiological response is called alpha block or desynchronization of the brain electrical activity. This is experience of 100 years and accepted by all the neuroscientists of the world. The results of pilot study after 2 years in 1995, where I was one of the subjects and I had quite a few other boys and girls also included in that, and we studied quite a lot. But based on the report, I did not find any significant change in the biophysical parameters in my case or the control subjects. But a change was observed in my electroencephalogram or EEG. The change was I could reproduce a predominant coherent alpha rhythm of lower frequency after opening my eyes. This unusual EEG finding was vital and highly encouraging. This opened a new door for a new research. You can see at the bottom, the left side, my EEG in 1993, you can see with closed eyes alpha frequency. But when you open the eyes, you do not see at all. But 2 years later, my EEG, you can see alpha frequency much better with the closed eyes, but you can see alpha frequency appearing soon after opening the eyes. This was very enlightening, and everybody was enamored that I could do it. I was literally challenging modern sciences or neurosciences. It cannot be changed, but we could change it. The initial research design was I asked yoga experts to volunteer to work as control subjects. I recorded EEGs of 30 experienced yoga experts. The result, no yoga control subject could produce predominant and coherent alpha waves after opening the eyes. I was the only one who could do it. Since control subjects were not able to do, hence my guide and doctoral committee members asked me to become the main subject of research and start working on the effect of this on yourself. So it literally became a single case study thereafter. They also suggested the power spectrum analysis could be better. First research challenge also came. It was easy to do qualitative evaluation of EEG with the conventional analog signals. The precise quantitative evaluation was complicated as it could not be done with the help of analog EEGs. Hence, I decided to add power spectrum analysis of EEG to the thing, but unfortunately, such a facility was not available in any of the institutions I was associated with. Thankfully, Dr. A.C. Gangadhar, a close friend of mine, volunteered to help me. He had done his Ph.D. research with the IIT Institute, Indian Institute of Technology in Madras, and he had developed the facility of computer-aided analog to digital convert card, and with the help of MATLAB, he could analyze spectral analysis of EEG. He was very happy to help me, and he added this to my EEG machine in Government General Hospital, where EEGs were taken. Power spectrum analysis added a color to my research. I am grateful to Dr. A.C. Gangadhar for all the help he extended. And all the analysis initially for my PhD work were done by him only because I want an expert to do it. And he was very kind to do a wonderful job. Now, as a result of that, we had to develop a new research design. So I started recording EEGs of my EEGs plus 30 control subjects. We took 3 states of consciousness. Dharana was considered without any concentration. EEG with 2 minutes of closed eyes and 2 minutes of open eyes without any concentration anywhere, just emptiness. Then second set was taken called Dhyana with a concentration on the pelvic region or Muladhara chakra. Then third was Samadhi, concentration on top of the head or Sahasrara chakra. And both were 2 minutes closed and 2 minutes open eyes. The results of analysis. Now you can see power spectrum EEG, the peak frequency value with open eyes. And you right on top you can see main subject, and that's me. And here you can find Samadhi, literally a straight line. There was hardly any difference throughout the 1 minute of recording. Almost 9.43 was standard. Even Dharana and their Samadhi also, there was not too much of fluctuation. Whereas one of the control subjects, rather all the control subjects had the power spectrum, the way it's given there, you can see the erratic going on between 8 Hertz to 12 Hertz. It did not center around 10 Hertz. This was quite amazing thing that I could bring coherence where others could not bring. Second set of things which I used for my PhD research was the kind of power which we could create with closed eyes. As a main subject, you can find power in all the three stages, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi, is almost double the power of control group. And pattern of alpha frequency with the closed eyes, you can see in both the same. There is no difference in style of pattern of different delta, theta, alpha, beta at all. It's identical with closed eyes. That means with the closed eyes, they were more or less that. Only difference was I could produce power double than that. And the power means higher amplitude and low frequency. And how it is calculated is square of amplitude divided by frequency gives you the power. And this was quite an interesting observation. With an open eyes, you find a tremendous change. Power, in my case, is almost 3 times the power you see in control subjects. But what you see, alpha frequency is maintained, and alpha frequency is pretty high in samadhi state in my case, whereas you find alpha frequency is lost and beta frequency is more. But in my case, alpha frequency is top, delta, theta and beta are very insignificant. And 3 columns of my alpha frequency are almost corresponding to the 3 towers of total power. And you don't see that with respect to the controls. This was something very interesting. This was appreciated by everybody and said, okay, if this kind of changes could be brought with the Kundalini Yoga or Yoga, it's worth the trouble. Now, power spectrum is the main subject, that's me. During Samadhi state, we took it separately to find out what is the mean alpha frequency. As I told you in the beginning, 1993, I had almost 10.5 Hertz frequency with the closed eyes as in open eyes. But 2001, span of 8 years, from 10.5 with closed eyes, it has come down to 8.91 was a peak. And 9.46 was the peak with eyes open. But the power was maintained, and you can literally see a beautiful peak of alpha with closed as well as open eyes. Now, after so many years, 2019, I continued to this, and the EEG is taken in Chennai Hospital, where I was as a professor of physiology in the department neurophysiology, shows left side is EEG with closed eyes. And you can find I am producing alpha frequency, you can say it to 8.5 Hertz throughout the brain. With eyes open, it is 8 Hertz throughout the brain. This is something which has not been demonstrated by anyone till date, to the best of my knowledge, as far as records are concerned. So I do feel that alpha frequency at 10 Hertz, which is considered to be signature, cannot be changed. With Kundalini Yoga or Akhand Yoga, we can bring the transformation. We can bring a coherence throughout the brain. We can integrate our entire nervous system into one unit, synchronize the whole thing, and then produce something of this class. And the results of this has been phenomenal by and large. Now let me take it to this particular testimonial is given by Professor A. Namachwayam at the end of my PhD work. And I'm glad he has put it on record that he had known me for 4 decades, and he has known me also as an undergraduate student under him in Department of Physiology when he taught me Neurosciences. But he has also been very kind enough to produce that I am capable of starting any research from scratch and take it to conclusion without any confusion or with the conclusion of this day. And he also has said this particular research is first of its kind internationally, was called highly commendable by all the external examiners, including the one from America, and the kind of other things which have. So that way I do feel that this testimonial by and large speaks. This particular research work was one-man person show, designed, executed, other things under his supervision and analyzed and by others. And Professor A.V. Srinivasan, who was also my classmate, he is also Ph.D. in Neurosciences, was my guide for working for EEG in Madras Medical College, where he was a professor. He has also been very appreciative and encouraging on that. It's a beautiful work we should do. So that way I'm glad that work was good. We have started, laid a foundation of something, because till such time there was no data of any information available about this kind of research done by anyone around the world. We were literally not aware how to go, how to do, and what not to do. I just allowed my inner consciousness or my own experience of subjective nature to guide and convert that into objective evaluation. I think it worked very well. Now that we have data available, the kind of transformation yoga, Kundalini Yoga or Akhand Yoga can bring into brain electrical activity, what kind of transformation we can bring, what kind of integration we can do, I'm sure future research scholars would have something else to look forward to this particular research and build on it. But anyway, I've done my bit. Now it's left to other aspiring neuroscientists or spiritual scientists to take the clues, make it as a standard, and based on that, they can replicate my work with as many candidates as possible. But this could not be replicated for different reasons, and I had to. And of course, there is no statistical analysis because it's a one-man show. But of course, at the end of it, my results were compared with the average of 30 of my classmates from Madras Medical College of the same age group with the same kind of academic performance, education and professional background to eliminate possibility of different needs. So they were at my age and results were as expected. So thank you very much for kind listening, and I think it has been joy for me to do the research for so many years and produce a kind of thing. And I think it's up to the world now to make optimum use of it and move on. So thank you very much for kind listening and encouraging.